Brock Purdy is one of the hottest quarterbacks in the NFL as we speak. Not only has he clocked an incredible 20-5 record as a starter, Purdy's career average of 9.2 yards per pass attempt and 113.0 passer rating are by far the highest marks of any quarterback with 500-plus pass attempts in NFL history. So, yes, everyone knows that the 49ers offense deserves an A-plus group grade over the last 2 seasons, all thanks to Mr. Relevant. But what you probably don't know is that despite being one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, Brock is getting paid peanuts compared to some other quarterbacks in the league. And to think that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to mind-blowing Brock Purdy facts you've never heard about. Hang tight, frenzies. These are 10 things you probably didn't know about Brock Purdy. Number 10. Brock Purdy is one of the lowest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. After leading the San Francisco 49ers to the NFC Championship game in his rookie season, and then taking them to the Super Bowl just 1 year later, Purdy basically made a joke out of the whole Mr. Irrelevant title they slapped on him during the 2022 NFL Draft. I mean, come on, there aren't many quarterbacks out there as clutch as Brock, but despite being the best quarterback the 49ers has had in ages, he's not exactly swimming in cash. In fact, he's one of the lowest paid players in the game right now, and it all comes down to where he was drafted. See, being the very last pick in the 2022 draft didn't exactly put him in a position to negotiate a big rookie contract. Purdy is currently on a 4-year, $3.7 million contract with the 49ers. That means he's pulling in a base salary of just $934,000 after that Super Bowl run, while the top quarterbacks are making anywhere from $12 million to $50 million a year. That sucks, big time. Let's just cross our fingers and hope the 49ers give him a huge raise when it comes time to renew his contract, because, let's face it, with the way he's making history, he deserves to be up there with the big dogs, not just in stats, but also in his paycheck. Anyways, you probably already know that Purdy was the very last pick of the 2022 draft, but what you probably don't know is that, number 9, he is technically C.J. Stroud's replacement. Okay, maybe not literally. You see, back in 2017, when Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch jumped on board with the San Francisco 49ers, they made a splash in their first NFL draft by snagging C.J. Beathard in the 3rd round. But, well, let's just say things didn't quite pan out as planned. Beathard's time with the team was, well, underwhelming. So, when his contract ran out, the 49ers waved him goodbye. Now, when a team loses a key player like that in free agency, like the 49ers did with Beathard, the NFL throws them a bone, a compensatory pick in the next draft. With Beathard out of the picture, the 49ers needed a solid backup quarterback to have their starters' backs. So when the 2022 NFL Draft came by, the 49ers got handed the very last pick in the draft as part of their deal, and that's where Brock Purdy stepped in. You know the rest is history. And speaking of history, number 8. Brock is the first true freshman quarterback in history to start a season opener. Back in 2018, Brock Purdy rocked the football world by becoming the first true freshman to kick off a season for the Iowa State Cyclones. Talk about making an entrance! And the best part? Purdy's debut at Iowa wasn't just a big deal, it was historic. It showed everyone that he had the maturity, the poise, and the guts to handle the intense pressure of leading a Division I football team. Because he didn't just show up, he showed out. Purdy's season was a thing of beauty. You could say with that game, he set the stage for all the greatness that was yet to come. It was like watching a star being born right before our eyes. And when you think about it, it's not so much of a surprise considering the fact that, number 7, he was born into a family with sport genes. Yup, athleticism runs deep in the Purdy family, starting with Brock's dad, Sean Purdy. Back in the 80s, Sean was making waves on the baseball field, representing the University of Florida in Miami. He was so good that he got picked 3 times in the amateur draft, and in 1991, he sealed the deal by signing with the Angels in the 16th round. Sure, he spent 8 seasons in the minor leagues as a pitcher before hanging up his cleats in 1998, but you gotta hand it to him. He laid down the groundwork for his kids. It's like he blazed the trail so Brock and his siblings could soar. Speaking of siblings, Brock's younger brother is following in his footsteps as a quarterback. He kicked off his college career at Florida State and is now doing his thing at Nebraska. And as for Whitney, Brock's sister, She took after her old man with softball skills back when she was tearing it up at Southeastern University. So yeah, when it comes to athletic genes, it's safe to say the whole family's got them. That is, except maybe Mom, who just missed out on the sports DNA lottery. Well, at least her son is killing it out on the field. Number 6. Purdy is the first rookie ever to beat Brady. Believe it or not, Purdy did that, and he did it with a 35-7 win and without breaking a sweat. The crazy thing is, Purdy wasn't even supposed to be facing off against Tom Brady that season, or maybe ever in his career. But fate had other plans. With 0 career starts under his belt, Brock found himself going head-to-head with a legend boasting 7 Super Bowl rings and 330 starts to his name. And guess what? Purdy didn't just hold his own. He straight up dominated the field and made history as the first rookie in NFL history to notch at least 2 touchdown passes, 1 rushing touchdown, and a passer rating of 125 plus in his debut start. Now, that's some next level stuff right there. And if you're wondering how he managed to shine as bright as a star, Brock himself has got answers for you. He believes that he is where he is today because... Number 5. He always puts God first. You see, Purdy grew up with his parents in Gilbert, Arizona, and as a result, he was involved in religious activities from a young age. That foundation stayed with him as he pursued his football career in college. In fact, he once shared with a reporter that he was raised to keep his focus on God rather than his athletic talents or promising future in football. And you know what? That didn't change when he stepped into the spotlight. If anything, his faith only grew stronger. During his interview with Steve Young, Purdy opened up about just how important his faith is to him. He made it clear that no matter what he's doing, he knows where his purpose lies, right there in the Lord. That's where his identity is rooted, and he's not shy about letting the world know it. Anyway, when Brock isn't making records on the field... Number 4, he spends his off time outdoors. When he's not tearing up the football field, you can bet he's out there doing what he loves most, camping. It's his ultimate favorite thing to do. But apart from just camping, Purdy's definitely got that outdoor bug, and he's savoring every single moment of it. He also enjoys soaking up nature on his days off, whether he's casting a line and reeling in some largemouth bass while fishing, or simply kicking back with his loyal 6-year-old golden retriever by his side. For him, it's a perfect way to connect with nature. Plus, it is also a great way to escape all that football pressure. And you know what else helps him get away from football? Food! Number 3. Purdy can cook it up in the kitchen as much as he can on the field. You know how Brock can scramble and whip up a masterpiece on the football field? Well, turns out he's got some serious skills in the kitchen too. Bet you didn't see that coming. Back in his junior and senior years at Perry High School in Gilbert, Arizona, Brock was actually one of the top culinary students. He was so good that his teachers couldn't help gushing about how much of a great student he was, and for good reason. This guy was whipping up everything from homemade pasta to soft pretzels like it was nobody's business. Now, it's pretty easy to believe any of the things on this list, but you know what you probably won't believe? Number 2. Purdy still crashes with his teammates. You wouldn't expect it from an NFL star, but Brock Purdy is all about managing his resources. So, he had no problem spilling the beans that he's actually sharing living quarters with 2 other teammates, Nick Zakel and Alfredo Gutierrez. And let's just say these are like 3 peas in a pod. Not only do they share a condo, but they also got into the holiday spirit last Christmas by distributing Christmas cards with their pictures on them. Now, is it unusual for an NFL starting quarterback to live with a teammate? Maybe, yes. But hey, can you blame the guy? Let's not forget, Purdy's still pulling in less than $1 million a year, and the base salary from his rookie deal worth $3.7 million over 4 years. With that kind of a paycheck, he's got to be smart about managing his resources. And what better way to do that than by splitting the rent down the middle? Seems like a smart move. But from the look of things, that's going to change soon because, number 1, Brock is about to tie the knot. If there's one thing that stands out about Brock Purdy, it's how notoriously private he is. But thanks to his fiancée, we know the wedding bells are ringing. Because in a now expired Instagram story, Jenna Brock's fiancé shared a photo originally posted by her soon-to-be sister-in-law, Whitney, with the caption, "Mrs. Purdy in 3 weeks." Looks like the countdown to the big day is officially underway. So there you have it, frenzies. Which of these Purdy facts made your jaw drop? Let us know in the comments.